This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to a very overcast day in South Africa. Welcome, Hampton Oaks Elementary, Glenwood Elementary, and Trantwood Elementary. Welcome to the Sabi Sands in South Africa. My name is Steve, and I'm joined by BK on camera. Please let your teacher know any questions and comments you might have, and she can send them through to us. Well, we are out in the African wilderness. There is clouds. It has been raining, and well, we are going to see if we can find you some lions. So they were around here this morning. I'm just trying to scratch around to see where their tracks have gone to, but they seem to have disappeared. But one of my friends has just come on the radio, so I'm going to have a quick chat with him to tell him what I think, and then he's going to help me find them. Good afternoon, Obs. Just following up on lions around Gallagher Pan, but no luck so far. No other updates. We use these radios to maximize the area that we can go in. Okay, copy, thank you. Okay, so one of the lodges, people come out here to go on game drive, and they go on these vehicles, and you can get quite up close and personal with animals out here. That's what a lot of people come to Africa for, to go on safari. And Ellie, you want to know if the animals escape? Well, some of them can escape. There is a big fence around the Kruger Park, but the Kruger Park is enormous. It's 4.4 million acres. It's very big, very big. So there is a fence around most of it, and but some animals can go over the fence or through the fence. It's not always that good, but essentially what the fence does is it keeps the animals away from some people. But up in the Masai Mara, where you're going to be going shortly, they don't have any fences there. It's a completely open system, and the animals tend to just leave the people alone. Okay, so what we're looking for footprints in the sand, because it's been raining. So quite often the footprints in the sand straight after rain can make it a little bit easier because the ground's soft and soggy. Have you ever done that when you walked outside in the mud and you slip and slide? Well, that's often what happens. But if the lions have been walking after the rain, then it means that it might be quite difficult for us to see the tracks. But we're going to see what we can see, because obviously after the rain, it dries a little bit. It gets that sort of hard crust. And, well, we're going to see if we can find for you, because, well, who doesn't like to see lions? I know I always like seeing lions. They are, after all, the king of the jungle. Well, I'm not the only one on safari this afternoon. We've got another lovely lady who's just around the corner. Her name is Trishala.
Hello, boys and girls. How wonderful to have you on board. Now, I love when kids come here, and basically you are here because we're taking you on this live safari, and it means that you can ask all your questions through your teacher, and we love to hear your questions. My name is Trishala, and I will be your safari guide for the day, or one of your safari guides, and we are going to look for some wonderful animals for you. Now, I am driving down to a place called Treehouse Dam, and a dam is a place where water fills up, and Treehouse is the name of the road, so it's called Treehouse Dam. And I think at one point there was a treehouse in one of these trees as well, hence the name Treehouse. So we know that animals love to drink water, just like you and I, if we're healthy, instead of Coke. So we're gonna go and look for them if there's anything around there. In fact, it's coming up now. Oh, sorry, Davy. My lovely cameraman for today is Davy. Say hello, Davy. Davy says hello. And I was sure there was a pretty flower here for you to see. Oh, there we go. There's something to talk about. River asks if we ever feed the animals or if they're truly wild. What a wonderful name, River. We don't feed the animals here, River. They are completely wild, so they get food from the kills that they make, and the animals that are antelopes that are vegetarian, they eat the leaves and the grass around here, and if they are meat eaters or carnivores, then they eat meat around here. But we don't help them at all because it's completely natural. But thank you so much for your question, River. So this is completely wild. Isn't that exciting? This is our... Oh, there's a butterfly flying around. They're so quick. I want to actually show you this. Oh, Darby's found it. Oh, look at that pretty butterfly. That butterfly is called an African vagrant. And if you get a clear look on it... Oh, it's run away from us behind that bush. It's very, very pretty. It's a pale green color, and sometimes when you touch it, like with most butterflies, the powder comes off on your fingers. Have you ever tried that? It's not a good thing because then they can't fly very well, but if you've tried to catch one, you would see the little powders come out on your hands, and those are called scales. And the butterfly uses it to reflect the light, to make all the pretty colors, and to structure for its wings so it can fly. Isn't that cool? Now, Treehouse Dam is right here, so let's go move ahead and see if there's anything there that's going to be drinking for us. Nash would like to know if the animals eat each other. Certain animals eat certain animals, but that's all part of the circle in the wild. Some animals eat plants, and the other animals eat animals. And it's all part of the circle. Even plants don't want to be eaten, you'd think. And they even have defenses against being eaten, like thorns. And then some of them have nasty chemicals in them so that they can defend themselves against herbivores. And then the herbivores, which are the vegetarians, they also have defenses. They can run really fast, some of them, like the antelope. They can run very fast to outrun the predators if they get chased. And then the predators, which are the meat eaters or carnivores, they're the ones that are on the top. So they eat the ones below them, and most things don't eat them. Now, here we are at the dam. And let's see what we can see in here. Oh, there seems to be a terrapin. Just down here. Now, a terrapin is sort of like, you would know, a tortoise or a turtle. A turtle lives in the sea and a tortoise lives on the land. And then a turtle has little webbings between their fingers so that they can swim nicely. Whereas, let me just move this pole out of your way. We have the pole there because we might be raining soon. And look how gloomy it looks out there. So we've put that on. It's our roof cover. We've put that on so that we can still be with you even if it starts to rain. Now, I was telling you about the sea turtle. It has the web between their toes and fingers so they can swim. And then you have a tortoise who has claws and they can walk on the land. And now a terrapin is something in between. It lives in the water most of the time, and then sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it needs permanent water. Sometimes it needs only patches of water. It's very versatile. And then some of them have long necks and some have short necks. And over here, oh, we have a visitor, boys and girls. We have a visitor. How sweet is this? Well, I am actually going to stick here a little longer since this lovely elephant has come to visit. In the meantime, let's go to Steve, and he is tracking some lions.
Well, thanks, Trish. Well, I wanted to see tracks. I wanted to show you some tracks in the sand. And these aren't what we're looking for, but can you see these tracks over here? They are from a warthog. A warthog came running down the road here. And there's the noise or the mess that he makes in the ground. A little 2 toes. Can you see that? 2 little hooves, just like a pig. And so much easier to see the tracks of animals with hooves than those with paws. It's the same with us. Unless the ground is very soft, our track, it doesn't really show very nicely after the rain. Whereas animals with hooves, they slip and slide. So when it's raining and when it's wet, it's sometimes a lot easier for the predators to catch the prey animals because they slip and slide with their hooves. But when the ground is nice and firm and strong, then the hooves actually do serve a very important function for the animals. It gives them something to run on. It allows them to have a bit of pressure on hard ground, but it also makes a little bit of a noise, like a clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, like a horse walking on stones. Whereas a lion, or you, I'm sure all of you have snuck up on your little brother or your little sister, or your big brother or sister have snuck up on you. With our type of feet, it's quite easy to sneak very quietly up behind someone. And when you do that, you leave a very small mark on the ground, not like this warthog. Okay, well, very good, BK. We're going to keep going up this road. We're trying to see where those lions have probably gone to. Matthew, you want to know that question, why is the lion the king of the jungle? Well, they are essentially out here. It's not even a jungle, so it's a very strange term. The king of the savannah. In fact, I don't know where the term came from, to be honest. It's been around for a very long time. And essentially, the lion is the biggest predator out here on the African plains. And so they are in charge. That is kind of the way it works. And the Lion King has really, really taken that to the next level. No one really messes with the lion. Elephants and rhinos will chase lions around, but essentially all the other animals give lions a very wide sort of berth as they move around. And elephants have gone and dropped this tree in the road. Very inconsiderate of them. Excuse me 1 second while I display how strong I am. So this is a very natural process in elephants breaking trees and branches. Obviously, having the road like that is tricky because you can't drive over them. But by doing this, they're actually packing on the ground. So out there in the bush, and the seeds and grasses will grow underneath these branches. So elephants have the ability to change the environment that they live in. They do it, part of what they do. It's just they're constantly messing with the bush, constantly feeding on things. And they are known as ecosystem engineers. Sometimes they push the tree over completely. And when they do that, the tree itself then creates a very nice little, I'll try to find you one, a very nice little climate and microclimate underneath where all these small animals can live. Lots of birds and lots of small mammals, rodents and scorpions and snakes. Lots of things. Hayden, you want to know if elephants are friendly? Well, if I saw an elephant over there and he decided to come all the way towards me, then yes, he's very friendly. Especially males, they can be quite sort of lonely. But if I push my luck and I go too close to an elephant, he's not very friendly. You've got to read the signs, you know. You've got to read the signs if the elephant is in a good mood or in a bad mood. But you can't go too close to these animals. They are wild. And they are potentially dangerous. So you need to understand, like Tricia sits in there by the watering hole, the elephant comes down, he's not going to cause any trouble because there's no need to. But if we go towards him and chase him and do something to him, well, then he's going to get very grumpy. And elephants can get between 8,000 and 13,000 pounds. Can you imagine that? So an angry elephant is a very, very dangerous animal. If they decide to push you around, there's really no chance of you managing to do too much. So, but they are wonderful animals. I love elephants. Okay, well, while we are driving along in the coolness of Djuma Sabi Sands in South Africa, looking for some lion tracks, let's go all the way up to the Masai Mara, where my friend Isaac is ready to go on safari.
Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome to the Masai Mara in the Mara Triangle. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have G. Andre, and we are here in the Masai Mara in between Kenya and Tanzanian border. And in front of me, it's the beautiful plains of the beautiful Masai Mara. You see how wide they are? This is what is called the open savanna. This is a type of habitat that has got no trees, just a few hills here and there, just a few trees, but mostly it is just flat and plenty of grass. And this is the home of the cheetah, and that's why we are here looking for them. I hope we can find one for you. Over here, it might look like it's empty, but there is a lot of animals. Remember, you can ask me some question through your teachers. Ask them to ask me some questions, and I'll be very pleased to answer the question. You can ask me anything about all the animals. We have lots of animals in Africa. You can ask me about them, and once I see an animal, I'll show it to you, and we can discuss it. Oh, you asking, Nora, you asking about the species that are protected? Here, all of them are protected under a very strong law, but the rhino, the elephant, the pangolin, the tortoise are mostly the most protected. And it's because certain people want to use them for certain uses, which is a lie. They're actually not very useful. So they are protected. It's the rhino, the pangolin, the elephant, and some few tortoises are very, very protected. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna share one of those protected animals with you. Maybe the elephant, because the other ones are very, very, very rare, but they are found here. But the elephants are, somewhere up here. So let me use my binoculars and see if I can find something for you, because this is where binoculars come in very handy. Here you can see quite a long way using binoculars, and like right now I have spotted Bradley, you asked me what species like in these places with such few trees. This is the home of the cheetah, also the jackal, also the hyena. Some lions have got territories here, so there is very many animals. Also we have, some antelopes, some eland, Thompson gazelle. We'll be showing you shortly, we'll show you something. When you see that one there, over there, is that a wildebeest? Yes, it is a wildebeest. Look at that. Andre just spotted a wildebeest for you, but it's a very long way away. That is a wildebeest. And we usually have so many of them, but they have moved further south. There is a place where they go to give birth, and way down in Serengeti, they go and give birth there, and that's why all of them are there. I'm sure that one we just saw is a male. The males don't need to go, to move, because they actually, they don't give birth. So, these plains have got a lot. I actually spotted some jackal while I was using my binoculars. So I'm gonna try and drive towards the jackal and see if I can share them with you, so that you see that these plains have got a lot of animals. They might seem empty, but actually there is a lot. Let's go and, see if we can find these jackals that I saw. They're over here somewhere, not very far. You see, I can see a few vehicles that also they are looking for things to show their people, their clients in the vehicle. This is where the tourists come to look for cheetah and other predators. Sorry, I didn't hear that question. You broke down. If you could repeat the question, please. I would like to answer it. I saw the jackals somewhere here. I don't know if you can see them. They are somewhere here, definitely. I did see them. They were trotting along. Did they disappear on me? No, they have. Actually, they have disappeared on me. I don't know if you're still with us, but I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Come again, sorry?
What's the smallest animal?
Oh, the smallest animal we find here. What is the smallest animal? An animal means that it produces milk. I would say, the mammal, the smallest one would be a bat. I would say it's a bat. A bat would be the smallest animal we find here that produces milk for its young. I would say it's a bat. Otherwise, we do have the biggest, which is the elephant, and the smallest, the bat, is the smallest one that we find here. I think it's a bat. Yeah. There is a lot of small antelopes on that hill over there. Quite a lot of them. I don't know if you can hear us. Yeah, those are wildebeest. Quite a good number of them. Relaxing, enjoying the afternoon sun. Yeah, you can tell they're not going anywhere, but very soon they're going to get active because it's a nice time to graze and enjoy the last bit of sun because it's not hot. They've been resting, early morning, and now it's time to get a little bit active. Yeah, they are looking at us and saying hello. FC, I don't know if you can copy me. Let's link to Steve. I don't know what he's up to.
Welcome back from the Masai Mara. We are still having a look. It is very quiet this afternoon, but the reason for that is because when we've had rain, a lot of the animals don't have to go to the watering holes to drink because there's puddles of water everywhere, and going to a watering hole is actually quite dangerous because you often find lions and leopards hanging around a watering hole. I'm just going to actually go check over there. Hanging around the watering hole, waiting in ambush for these animals to come. So when the rain is around, well, they don't have to go. So the animals could be anywhere. And but the good thing is when it's a lot cooler like this, you could have lions and leopards moving, which normally at this time of day, they're not because it's so hot. And well, they really are quite lazy animals when it's hot. But we're just going to come up. There's a little watering hole over here. I wanted to see if the lions maybe came to that one. And otherwise, we're going to go and look for something else. Parker, we do indeed have rivers here. The river that we have here on our left is actually very, very dry. BK can show you a little bit. The vegetation is very, very dense. You can see how dense the vegetation is over there. It's a dry riverbed. When we have lots and lots of rain, it will flow like a river. Sorry about the pole you see there, but we have got a roof on because we've got lots of expensive equipment here that if it does continue to rain, well, we will blow all that equipment. So the river here is quite dry, but there are lots of other rivers in South Africa that are flowing all the time. Most countries have got rivers. It's how they survive. But here we've got natural watering holes and also man-created watering holes. But it seems like let's go quickly to Trishala, who's got a spotted animal running away.
Wow, water sources. Yes, we have lots of water sources, but not many rivers. Now, we had a hyena, but I can't see her now. I'm going to keep going. Oh, here she is. Here, Davi. Can you see her? Straight through there. She is in thick bits of bush. She is in thick bits of bush, but I do love hyenas. Christian would like to know if lions and hyenas get along. Here's a nice gap here. Hey, 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 girl. Well, that's actually a really interesting question because they are... No is the correct answer. The hyenas will often steal things from lions, and lions are not scared to steal things either. And hyenas are known to be scavengers, but in fact, scavenger means that they steal food from other places. But in fact, they can hunt 50% of the time as well. And they often bother the lions because the lions will have a kill, and the hyena will come along and try to steal it. And a hyena can actually displace a lion from the kill. That means they can get the lion to move away from the kill. If there are, say, oh, look at her. If there are 4 hyenas and 1 lioness, they will not, the lions will not win, unfortunately. But if there is a male lion, the one with the big mane, if there is a big male around, then the hyenas won't be able to displace him. Ethan would like to know what hyenas eat. Hyenas eat anything and everything meat related. So they'll eat skin, bones, nails, hair, and of course actual meat. Definitely no sweets, no ice cream, no cake, no Coke. Yeah, pretty much a strict protein diet. There have been cases where hyenas would eat fruits, believe it or not, but it is very rare. They prefer to have bones, and they can crush the bones with their strong jaws and their strong teeth. And this girl, her name is Corky. She is the matriarch of the Juma clan, a group of hyenas that live together called a clan. Carter would like to know why they have spotted fur. It all has to do with camouflage. And you'll see that lots of animals here in the African bush and even around you in the Americas, you would have lots of animals that have different types of patterns on their fur. And the different patterns mean that they're harder to see in the bush. Or some animals have spots, some have stripes. It all depends on where they live. And hyenas, because they're in the bush, if they're spotty, then it breaks up the color. Now, I can't see her anymore. Davi, can you see her? In the bush, it breaks up their color. So if you imagine seeing a solid brown object somewhere, then you can quite easily see, oh, that's a big brown ball. But if it's got spots in it and there's other things in the way, then you might not be able to see exactly what it is. So lots of animals use these spotted coats or different colored coats to camouflage, and that means to hide away from other animals that may be trying to disturb it, take its food, or hurt it. I'm sure we can find some other animals that have great camouflage as we go about as well. We have kudus who have stripes, little stripes going down them, and that's for the same purpose because they're in the bush all the time. They need to be able to camouflage and hide away if something comes after them. And I'm sure you know about a chameleon. And a chameleon has color that can change, which also is for camouflage. Well, I'm going to drive around and see what other exciting things I can find for you. In the meantime, let's go to Isaac.
Well, welcome again. And from talking about camouflage, we have something that is out in the open. This is our largest eagle in Africa. It is called a marshal. You know, a marshal is a very big person in the army or in the police. So this is the marshal of the plains. You can tell that he's very full because his crop, that swollen part of the chest, is the we call it the crop. That's where it stores its food, and then slowly it digests it. Look at the big Look how sharp it is. That is for cutting meat or shearing meat, or ripping meat from where it is, and then swallows it in big chunks. This is a very big eagle with a wingspan of almost 6 feet, so it's very huge. It's able to take your small cat or your small dog, and it is here because it is resting. It might have a nest somewhere not far from where it is. It looks like it is very well fed, so it doesn't need to hunt. All I can think of is that it's waiting for the digestion to take place so it can rest. These eagles, they live a very long time. This eagle could live up to 40 years, and they have very good eyesight. Nick, you asked me about dinosaurs. Wow, dinosaurs. You asked me if dinosaurs lived in Africa. I doubt it. There has never been remains of them found anywhere in Africa. We have remains of the oldest person found here, of the oldest crocodile found in Africa, lots of monkeys, but never of any dinosaur. So I don't think they ever lived here. It looks like it's a very good place for them, but I think they preferred different habitats like the ones you have where you come from, in America. That's where I think they were mostly found. I might be wrong though, but there's nowhere that I've read in my age to tell me that they once existed here. Yeah, we're going back to our beautiful martial eagle. He's cleaning himself. Wow, look at that. Remember to continue asking me as many questions as possible. Yeah, look at him. He's looking at us. Whoa, look at the yellow eyes. Okay, while I continue looking for something for you, let me take you to Steve. Maybe he's got something good for you.
Welcome back to the ground in South Africa. Well, we have found tracks of a big male lion. Can you see this indentation in the ground here? There's the toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is the back pad. Look at the size of that. It's almost as big as my hand. I find that incredible. And that is the front foot. And here's the back foot. And it's quite easy to see that this happened while it was still very wet. And if I put my book down there, you will quite easily see that this is indeed a lion track, because nothing is quite as big as a lion track. And the pad at the back, if you look on the photo, you can see that there's 3, what we call lobes on the back pad. And the male lion's track, if I show you over here, you see how wide the toe is to the foot. The pad is here, and the toes are very splayed out because male lions have got very, very big feet. So these tracks are heading in that direction towards a watering hole. We're going to drive around the block and see if we can maybe find, oopsie, dropping my radio on the floor. See if we can maybe find, because we know that this guy was with a lady this morning. A little bit of a Valentine's Day date, which is continuing from yesterday. And let's just drive around the corner and see what we can find. But in the mud, it's much easier to see the tracks, but unfortunately we need to get in there somehow, and the ground is a little bit hard. Hello, Aiden. You want to know how big a lion can get? Lions can get almost 500 pounds in weight. Almost 500 pounds. You might have seen a vehicle there. Some people are coming to stay at the lodge. So they were just driving past, and they're probably super fans because they were waving, trying to get themselves on camera. So can you imagine trying to play with an animal or fight off an animal that weighs 500 pounds? I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And they can run at about 40, 45 kilometers an hour. Whoa! But the objects of that, big and strong to pull down big animals. Hello, Xander. You want to know if there's any different types of lions? Okay, so somebody followed them in here. Maybe they are just down this little power line road. I'm just going to have a little look. You want to know if there's different types of lions? In Africa, there's only one species of lion. There's a species in India as well. And there used to be one in Tasmania, which is completely gone now. It's a very different type of lion. It's called the Tasmanian lion. But in Africa, there's only one. The lion, then you get the leopard and hyena, and the wild dog and the cheetah underneath. That's the cascade of predators. There's a few other different hyena species, but only one lion species in Africa. Okay, keeping our eyes peeled. You see how dense the vegetation is here. And to have a little walk in there to see if I can... Because the lion, with his date, he doesn't like anybody to come near his girlfriend. He's very protective, as he should be, He's very protective of his girlfriend. And if he sees me, he's going to shout at me. So I'd rather just pop my nose in with the vehicle and see if we can find them lying down over here. Hello, Ben. You want to know what lions live in? They don't live in packs, but it's close. It's actually called a pride of lions. Sorry, BK. Pride of lions, and they're very proud. And it's generally a pride is made up of ladies with their babies. And then you get males that come and go, and they protect ladies in areas. The ladies will defend an area, and the males will defend ladies. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so I think the lions were here at some point. The vehicle tracks have brought me here, but they seem to have moved off. Let's just have a little listen. Maybe they'll give us some form of a noise. Maybe they won't. Okay, so they definitely had them right over here somewhere. Sure. The problem is on a day like this when it's so nice and cool, the lions have probably moved off. Kate, hello. You want to have lions talk to each other? They most certainly do. They just don't speak the same language that you and I speak. They speak the little soft grunting sounds, and then from a long distance they roar, the roar of the lion. And where we are actually is on a private reserve called Djuma. And Djuma means the roar of the lion. Because in Shangaan culture, the Shangaan language, they will say Djuma, Djuma. Because that is the noise that the lion makes. Can you hear it? I'm not very good at it, but I am trying. Okay, so if they are here, they're probably just down this little pathway. But I've just got to have a little look. Okay, well, as I suggested, checking waterholes is normally a good idea to find animals, and it seems like Trishala has managed to find, and she's looking at another watering hole.
Yes, I am at the waterhole. We've been speaking about water a lot today because we know that animals like to hang around water, and we have found a few here that are very cute. So we've got a pair of Egyptian geese up there on the top, and we have a little chick right there, just jumped in. How cute is that? Oh, there's two of them. That's mom and dad on top on the bank, and these are the two chicks. And they are just swimming around and trying to get all their muscles to work just like mom and dad's. And they're doing all the same stuff so they can grow up big and strong and be able to fend for themselves and eat and all of those things. Look at how cute they are. So this would be a brother and sister, or sister and sister, or brother and brother. We're not sure yet. They're just so small, it's hard to tell. Oh, from one baby to another, let's go to Isaac, who has some hyena cubs for you.
Yes, look what we found, from baby geese to baby hyenas. This is the spotted hyena, and these are different ages. That one looks like big mummy to the left, and then the other ones are cubs. The one in front looks like is about 4 months, I would say, and then the rest are less than 4 months. We know that because when they're young, from 1 to around 5 months, they're only black. Then they start getting the spots only from the age of about 4.5 onwards. And a collection of hyenas is called a clan, and a clan is led by the oldest female. She's called a matriarch. Usually you find more females and their cubs. Males don't stick around for very long. They're usually mostly females. Steve, thank you very much. You're asking me if hyenas talk to each other. Yes, they have almost about 8 or more vocal sounds that they make, and different ones mean different things. There is one that I know that they make that goes, "Woot!" That means, come, there is food. And then there is another one that goes, that means, hey, come help me, I need backup. Or I'm very happy, come, let's play. So those are the two I know, but they can make many, many more. And that is their way of talking. Yeah, that is the babysitter. She's been left behind to take care of the young ones. Hyenas are very, intelligent. They will know that leaving the young ones by themselves, they will be vulnerable. So they leave one babysitter to take care of the rest. Many people think that hyenas are dirty, scroungy, mean, but I love hyenas. Look at these ones. They are not as, aggressive. They are quite clean. Those two are suckling. Yeah, they are suckling. They are getting some milk. Colin, you asked me how fast can hyenas run. They can do about 30 miles an hour. That is around 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. And they can do that for very long distance, up to 5 kilometers, which is around 3 miles. They can do that. They can go and go and go and go. They are like marathon runners at a very high speed. And that is how they get their prey. They will chase and chase and chase and chase their prey until it is tired. Then it stops, and that's how they get it and kill it. So they are actually marathon runners. They run very fast. And here they are not running, but they are resting. Many people thought, in the early days that hyenas were, scavengers. But hyenas actually make a lot of their kills. They kill for themselves. And I have seen that. Although it's very ruthless, but yes, they hunt for themselves. You see, they're talking there. There's a type of communication. You saw that there was one that was raising a tail. That is how they talk. It is telling the other one something. I don't know that language. Sorry, I lost you there. I couldn't hear that question, but I did hear you wanted to say something. Please, could you try again? Yeah, negative. I cannot copy to you. I cannot copy you.
How do hyenas eat bones with their teeth?
Oh, you ask me how do hyenas eat bones with their teeth? Sorry, I didn't get the name, but yes, they do grind them. They have very strong carnassial teeth and also very strong jaws. So those bones that other animals cannot chew, they will chew and break them. And then they have very acidic stomach that will digest those bones. And when they go to the bathroom, the only thing you see is a white poo, which looks like chalk. Yeah, so they have very, very strong jaws, hyenas, and they'll eat those bones that other animals cannot eat. Let me take you to my colleague in South Africa, because I cannot get you very well.
School drive, close school drive.
Okay, everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a lovely, lovely afternoon and you learnt a lot. For everything else that we didn't get to ask us, please ask your teachers. So next time they come, you come on air, you'll be able to ask us. Have a good afternoon and goodbye from us here in the Masai Mara. Where are we? Okay, let's see, let's take you to Steve down in Duma. Maybe he's got something nice for you guys.
Buddy, how are we doing this lovely afternoon? Well, my name is Steve, of course. I'm joined by BK on camera. Please send through your comments, questions, hashtag SafariLive. Let us know what you'd like to talk about this afternoon. A few requests have come through already with regards to evoker mail. I'm trying, but I've tried in the thickets there and they are not showing themselves. It's very inaccessible there close to Gallagher, close to our camp. I heard the mating pair there this morning while I was exercising outside my room. They were very close. They were very close. I stopped exercising for a little bit. They were that close. Just like this morning, they were outside our gate. Okay, there's the tracks. I'm going to go around onto this other Gallagher road and see where the rest of the pride has gotten to. And I know a lot of people would like to maybe find Hosana today. Well, everyone, I'd love to find you Hosana. I really would. But I don't know where he is at the moment. I know many of you are following him on his movements in his Facebook page. I'm sure you probably know where he is. Let me know so I can let everybody else know that I don't know. I don't know where he is. I really don't. I've got his teddy bear on my bed, so he sleeps close to me every single day. But thankfully, the rain seems to have sort of let up for the moment. It's always nice when there are lions on the property, but when the conditions are like this, there's such a good chance that they've just popped over north already, over the boundary. They could do that. They were looking very, very hungry this morning and last night. That Boca male, the blonde one with a hole in his head, is actually looking sickly. He's looking sickly. So he needs a meal. All the viewers saying you miss Hosana. I know. I feel you, everybody. I really do. I really do. What are we going to do without him? I'm sure this has happened to many of you before, though. You've had a male leopard you've fallen in love with here, and then he's moved away. Itamba being one of them, I suppose. Who else was there? I don't know. I haven't been here long enough to have known all of the youngsters that moved away, but we do have the Princess Tlalamba now, and being a female, it's unlikely that she's going to disperse. She seems to be quite enjoying that sort of central area of Djuma. So we're going to spend a little bit more time trying to find these lions. But in the meantime, it's not only me, of course, out on safari. Chishala Naidu is checking in the watering holes.
It definitely is a silver lining that we have Tlalamba, and that is exactly who I am searching for today. I am in the area that she was kind of left at, so we're just going to have a look, but it has been a few days since I've seen her, so I'm really hoping that I see her today. Well, I am Trishalva, as you all know. So glad to have you back on Drive, as always. Questions and comments, you know the deal. Hashtag SafariLive and the YouTube chat stream. We love to hear from you. So we have been roaming around. Luckily, it's not pouring down like it has been for the last few days. But I don't want to speak too soon because it does look a bit gloomy. Let's actually stop here and show you exactly how gloomy. See, now those clouds, they don't look... they don't really have a silver lining at the moment, do they? But I see a patch of blue just there in the middle. Hopefully it'll come through for us. Maybe the sun will shine through it and shine onto Tlalamba's whereabouts. That would be amazing. still nonetheless a wonderful silhouette of the African skies. Always happy to be here. Makes me feel happy and proud to be born in Africa and then get to have the privilege of working with these animals and learning so much about them. It really is a privilege. Sometimes I wonder, wow, is this my job? I get to take game drives and then share it with all of you. Kaya would like to know how much rain we've had here. Well, I know that yesterday it predicted 130 milliliters, but then it went, I think we actually got something like 40, but that was yesterday. So I'm not sure about the day before. And the day before it bucketed quite a bit. And I know one of the dams nearby here, oh, we're just going to stop and listen. I thought I heard some shouting, angry animals shouting, so I just thought I'd stop to listen. An important part. Let's just listen again. Just a crazy Franklin. Lost their minds in the rain, I think. But as I was saying, one of the dams nearby in one of the close towns, Hoedspruit, they have had 88%, or the dam is 88% full, which is excellent, actually. So we have been looking at some good rains. Hey, pretty bird. Oh, the birds are not liking me today. They're all just carrying off. Nah. Davi and I were just saying it's such a cool superpower that they have to be able to fly. I think it is. There you are. Oh, so this is a grey go-away bird. It is the only bird for which I can make a call. Would you like to hear it? It is a bit embarrassing, but I'll do it for you guys since I've gotten to know you now. And that's one type, and then it also has one that goes. The only bird I can do. Goli is the best at bird calls. Me, I can do rocks and mushrooms, clearly. Better than bird calls. One of the really common birds that we see around here. FC enjoyed my bird call, I'm glad. Somebody did. He's just having a nice preen. Maybe after the weather and the wetness, he's had to re-oil there you go. Re-oil himself and waterproof himself yet again. Pugmaker says that was a good one. Well, thank you very much. I can't say I can accept that. It still feels like maybe you're just being very kind. But I'm sure it'll get better. Oh, you know, guys, I can't even whistle. That's how bad it is. I have nothing else up my sleeve when it comes to bird calls. Like I said, I can't even whistle. It is one of the banes of my existence, is the fact that I can't whistle. In fact, I'll even try for you. If you could recognize that bird, good for you. Your listening skills and recognizing skills are better than my bird calling skills. Just sounds like somebody blowing through a straw, I'm sure. Ah, Paula says apparently not everybody can whistle. I'm glad to hear it. Because it has always been one of those things and all the other kids can do it and I can never do it. We're just driving around slowly so we don't miss anything. FCC is like a handstand. Well, I can't do a handstand either, but I can cartwheel. That's a start. I'm looking for... FC says I can't say that and not expect people to ask me to cartwheel. Oh, it's like the dancing, guys. It'll happen as soon as this foot is 100%. It's still doing well, though. It's in a shoe. It's still attached. It still moves around. But I don't know if it's acrobatics worthy yet. Well, actually, Steve absorbed my pain from my right foot, so let's go to him and see how his movement on his foot is.
Well, we're having a bit of a difficulty with our camera. Sorry, there we go. BK, the camera tends to zoom on its own, so you need to watch that. This is a funny camera that we have. But everybody, I'm just very sad to give you the sad news, but we have managed to find the tracks of the Umkuhuma bride. That's the good news. The bad news is that we're now on Buffelshoek boundary, and they went that way, which is north. Unfortunately, no, that is not where we can go. But Rexon is on his way. He's going to probably track them down and spend some time with lions this afternoon. But as I said, lions do just have the potential just to leave if they want to very, very easily. So the tracks are right here and they've gone north. Well, while we try and figure out what's going on with this camera, let's go back over to Trishala.
Oh, sorry about any of that technical issues that you've had there, but nonetheless, still with me. Not such a bad deal, I think. I'm enjoying taking you on board in my safari. Oh, 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 oh. Butterfly, butterfly. It's landed just underneath all the tops of these grasses. Well, I've seen a lot of them around at the moment, so maybe we'll see more as we go along. But you can see how thick everything is, so that makes it that much harder to find Tlalamba. In fact, yesterday when I found the Avoca male, the only reason I did is because he had a tuft of hair on his tail. Hey, butterflies. Because he had a tuft of hair on his tail that he flicked up. Where'd you guys go? Oh, it's so stunning. We've seen a lot of butterflies come out now. It's a good time to practice. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen so many out here. You see, there's a whole lot on that one. How pretty are these? Oh, now that the butterflies are out, I will definitely be studying hard on butterflies. Very, very pretty. And we were talking about with the kids scales and coloring on butterflies. And it works the same way as lots of things in nature. And each one of these scales carry pigments, and a lot of them carry the keratin structures reflect the light. Going around each flower. Yeah, it is very cool. Going around to each flower, getting some nectar. Oh, If you've ever held one in your hand, you see their long proboscis that rolls up into a perfect little curl underneath their mouths. Visiting each flower and doing their ecological job, which is, of course, to pollinate. I think it's so cool that flowers and insects have kind of evolved in this way. So, really interestingly, Kimberly says, what pretty butterflies? Absolutely. I would say they're very, very pretty. I also like the way they kind of flutter around. Very pretty. This little section seems to be a butterfly hub. It's a pit stop for everybody. What I was saying is that butterflies, or rather plants, there's two types, we could say. You have the flowering plants and the non-flowering plants, and the flowering plants co-evolved with kind of these flying insects in order to, or not in order, but together they evolved so that the insect benefits from the nectar and then the flower benefits from the cross-pollination that happens as each butterfly visits a new flower. I like the word visit because I really think they do. As you can see them moving from one to the other, they visit each flower, and then unknowingly they kind of just get pollen tapped onto their heads, and then the next place they go to, that pollen gets deposited, and then all of a sudden they're fertilized. I think that's really cool. So even the tiniest things, these little butterflies, they look so fragile, but they're an integral part of the ecology everywhere in the world. Hello. There's one coming right to me. Where is it? Are you all enjoying getting up close and personal with the butterflies? I do too. I really do. Some of the viewers are wondering if they're as important as bees are. I think that bees, and this is just my opinion, but bees do pollinate a lot of things, very many things, and they are, unsizable ecological importance. But that's not to say that butterflies don't. Oh, butterflies are not. I mean, it's reduced. It's not as much as a bee may be. Bee may be. But it's... Sure, I will hold off this thought because Steve has something super, super exciting for you.
Very exciting. Thanks, Trish. I'm sorry to pull you all away from Trish's bee and butterfly discussion. No doubt it is very interesting. But we have found a black-backed jackal. It's not often we get to see them here in Djuma, and when we do, they run. I saw one this morning when we were coming back from the drone with hanging around the male and female lion. He was being very brave. I don't know if this is the same guy. We're just driving along our northern boundary to see if maybe the lions came back. They seem to have been chasing some zebra by the tracks that I've seen on the road, because you only had a few lion tracks crossing the road there towards Buffelshoek, and the rest of the lions probably were in the block at some point, maybe trying to maneuver some zebra into a trap. But all of the zebra seem to have gone north, and there's no tracks of any of those lions that went north coming back down. So there's a very good chance that they are all north of the boundary. I'm sorry to say that, but we have found ourselves a very beautiful jackal that seems to be having a little bit of an itching problem. It is scratching all over the place. It was giving its bottom a proper scratch a little while ago, but so interesting to see how relaxed he is. In the Mara, we get to see jackal quite regularly, and up here or down here we don't see them. When we do, they're normally running. Emma, you want to know if jackals get mange? I'm sure they do. They actually most certainly do. We had a jackal hanging around Chitwa, which was very sad for a lot of the viewers and for us to see, because it was just skin and there was absolutely no fur left on the animal. It was in a very, very bad way. I don't know what happened to it, but we did a few segments on it and then we stopped. If we ever found it again, we just stopped because it was a very sad state of affairs. But, oh, very good. While we're looking at the jackal, there is a zebra in the road up ahead walking towards us. Maybe he can tell us where the lions have gone. What do you reckon, VK? The zebra all the way down there. This is the Buffelshoek boundary. Buffelshoek cut line, it's called. Cut lines were once upon a time a fence line between two properties, and so the road is normally quite broad, normally quite straight, because the fence is much easier to make straight than to bend it into all sorts of angles. And I think this jackal knows where those lions are. Can you see how it's suddenly gotten up and it's running in a direction? That is the typical jackal stride, 1 foot after the other, in a perfect sort of movement. And maybe the lions aren't as far away from the road as we initially thought. So I'm going to turn around and follow this jackal for a little bit, and maybe he will take us to some lions. But we can't go north, I'm afraid, folks. But we can drive along the road. Yes, and if he doesn't take us to lions, well, then we'll go and say hello to Mr. Zebra. I really don't know, actually, why we don't see that many jackal here. It's possibly because the vegetation is a little bit thicker, and, well, leopard are a huge predator on jackal. The jackal survive in the mara because they're quite quick and quite thrifty. They're able to sort of evade lions quite easily by scavenging off their kills as well and just keeping out of range. But a leopard, really, they do have a sort of a nice... Oh, he's got a bit of it seems like an injury on his bottom there. Oh, shame, poor fella. Whereas lions obviously will kill a jackal if they can, but they're just not really as quick. Leopards, well, they will catch jackals readily, and not just to kill them, but they actually quite enjoy eating them. It's one of the things that keeps leopards alive in sort of domestic or rural areas, is the fact that leopards can feed off domestic dogs and cats. Rexon's just giving me a quick little shout over here. Hang on 1 second. Standing by, Rex. I confirm you've got tracks, so you've got animals there. Whereabouts are you, Rex? Okay, copied. Are you in Juma? Okay, copied. Thank you. Okay, so Rexon has found the lions very close to the sign we were on just now. So they are not far away at all. But unfortunately, we can't even poke our nose in there. The jackal, I think he knows the lions are around. Look how attentive he's being. He's keeping the thick bushes distance away from him. They're quite quick and they can evade predation, but if the vegetation's thick, they can get snuck upon quite easily. Okay, so Rexon's only got 3 females, so maybe they are more in our property still. You know, they probably had a failed hunt. Copel, you want to know what the difference between a fox and a jackal is? And sorry about that. They're actually very, very similar. I don't think there's too much actually of a difference. They are related. They're both canids. They've got probably the same amount of teeth. They behave very similarly. They den in generally holes in the ground. I think it's just a name, really. I don't think there's anything different between the two. We do get some foxes in Africa, and we do get lots of jackals, but I don't think there's a difference, really. They are very, very closely related. At some point, they just sort of deviated. They just deviated from each other. Here he is. or she. Hello, beautiful. They both got the long face. They both are carnivores. Adam, jackals are actually monogamous, so you often will find a pair or a small family. And what the family is essentially is a monogamous pair will have some offspring, anywhere between 2 and maybe 4. And those offspring sometimes can stay with the family for a year or 2 to assist in the rearing of the pups that come from the next generation. So that's why you'll find them in a group, but they are not essentially social animals. They're monogamous, but they will tolerate some family members for a period of time. Not like the bat-eared fox, who you can often find in small family groups with some extra sort of male or female counterparts there for extra breeding. But jackal are very territorial, males versus males, females versus females. And, well, it's very nice to see him. But can you see how easily he could probably get caught in the thickets, in the long grass here, and the vegetation? I'm just going to pull over because the vehicle wants to actually come past me, and I'm being very rude by not allowing him to get through. I do apologize, sir. Okay, there he is. This jackal's being very, very comfortable with us. I'm very excited for that. I know lots of you out there always, when I was in the Mara, were requesting jackals. What has happened to the bat-eared foxes, I wonder, up in the Mara? I wonder if they're still around. I was sent a photograph on Twitter of a... Was it on Twitter? Who knows? Social media is all the same to me, I think. But it had a martial eagle with a bat-eared fox in a tree. Needless to say, the bat-eared fox was dead. But martial eagles and birds of prey are the biggest predator for the small bat-eared foxes, more so than other predators. A jackal would actually have a similar sort of fate with their pups up in the Mara. And down here, though, most certainly the biggest predator of jackal is leopard. He's being very, very comfortable with us today, but he's not happy. You see how fidgety he is, or she. I haven't identified the sex just yet. Flicking its ears. There's lots of irritants out there. Lots of flies and organisms flapping around. But look at the size of their ears. Very, very big ears, which they use for detecting prey and also for protecting themselves. They can discern lions or leopards trying to sneak up on them. And we wouldn't even see him if we were driven past. Okay, well, very good. We're going to move off, see if we can see Rexon from the road, but I don't think we will. And just up ahead is that sign we were talking about. This jackal seems to have lost interest. We're going to go back, see if Rexon's there, if we can see him with his lions, and if not, then maybe we'll go across all the way to Buffelshoek and see what's going on our eastern side. But in the meantime, let's go back over to Trish, who I'm sure is eager to finish her discussion about bees and butterflies.
We are still on the butterflies. We found this lovely pair of African monarchs. Oh, maybe we're going to have some mating butterflies even. How stunning is that? That is so pretty. Oh, oh, oh. There comes the side woman. And we can tell that they are monarchs because obviously of their coloration. But lots of adults of, or rather here, the diadem butterfly female mimics the African monarch. But she would have one black spot as opposed to the kind of spread out versions there. Can you see? There's about 2 or 3 on the hind set of wings there. With the diadem, it would only be 1. And I love the polka dot spotted body. I think it's so pretty. So what they're actually doing there, they actually, you can see them. Oh, don't go. Oh, there we go. They're opening and closing their wings slowly as they're perched on the ground, or even as they were perched on that plant, and they're actually trying to warm themselves up. They can't thermoregulate in the same way we do, and then the more they do that, if they beat it really fast, they're trying to warm up their muscles, And if they're beating it slowly like this, open and close and open and close, then they're actually trying to increase the surface area so they can collect as much sunlight and warmth as possible. And on a day like this when it's overcast, I can absolutely 100% see why. They must be freezing. They... Umka would like to know if African monarch butterflies migrate to other areas. As far as I know, they don't. That's why they're the African monarch butterfly. But I do know that the American monarch butterfly does have a massive migration, which is probably the one you're thinking about. It's about 4,000 Ks that they will migrate. And you get this sudden burst of monarchs, which I can only imagine is stunning. But these guys, I'm not actually 100% sure. I will definitely check that up, but I don't think so. I don't. So we are now kind of on the border. We're going to be approaching Chitwa very soon. You know, one of my favorite places. I love Chitwa. So we're going to head over there, and then hopefully there'll be some nice hippos, some nice birds, and maybe a croc or two in the water as well. Maybe there'll be some action. Who knows? So let's leave these butterflies and keep on going. Bye, guys. Have fun warming up. Something that's actually really cool about them, they're, as you probably have heard many times before, is that they're poisonous. And their poison is not, it's not as if their whole body is poisonous. What actually happens is because they feed on milkweed, they store poison in certain sacs at strategic places in their body, and most of the time they store it in their wings, so that when a predator comes along and it, you know, there'll be a bit of a struggle, it'll try and fly or whatever, and then it grabs it by the wings, that'll be the first distaste that it gets. And then it'll know is if the wings are damaged, it's more likely to survive than if the entire abdomen and thorax and head are damaged. So a really cool strategy, I think. I used to always think, oh, you know, they're poisonous because they eat the milkweed, we know this, and then it's in the entire body, but it's not. It's strategically placed. As Emma says, it's a very sneaky. I must agree with Emma, but maybe that's why they're so successful. Emma says on that note I should send you to Isaac. Now I wonder if that means that he's sneaky. Anyway, let's go see.
Hello everyone, welcome to my side of Game Drive. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have J. Andre. We are already at Sausage Republic, and it seems to be rush hour here. Everybody is following us, and some of them have already been here trying to find the sausages. I think they heard us talking and they saw James, you know, finding the new sausages this morning, and so right now there's a lot of kerfuffle over here, vehicles everywhere. Everybody's trying to locate, you know, where they are. But I've just arrived and I'm just about to find where they are. Earlier on, I had found a male and a female. So please, join me. I'm going this way. Gotta follow those two vehicles and see if we're gonna get lucky along this area. They might be in the long grass, and you can see it's a sea of grass over here. Very hard to find them unless you really know where they are or you see a movement. And I am here to see if we can see them like David saw them this morning. A lot of people do watch us, and they know this area just like we know, and they sometimes, you know, follow us to find these beautiful creatures. Like for the moment, I'm gonna try and go up here because it seems like everybody has been going up this way, and hopefully maybe they're up here. Maybe they're up here. I can see everybody's following this small truck. Over here, you only can off-road when you see the high-profile animals. Those ones are elephant. I'm not quite sure if they have moved the cubs from where they were or not. But let me, if I get there and find who is here. But actually, from where David saw them. We got there and they were not there. So definitely they have moved. But what everybody's looking for around this area, I don't know. Let me get there and find out for you. But it is very difficult sometimes to locate anything in Sausage Republic because it is so wide, so empty, as you can see, and the ground very high to be very, in this. So what to look, I think this sound, I'm depending on this track to lead me to where maybe there is some. It's a very beautiful, sunset to my right, which will be sharing you. Okay, while I look and I struggle to look for these animals in this long grass, let me send you to Steve down in Juma.
Hello everybody, sorry about Isaac's gremlins, but so I walked about 10 meters on those tracks into Buffelshoek just to see if they were in fact going north so I could call Rexon, and then he went there. And 10 meters or 15 meters further than I'd walked, the lions are lying in the grass. We tried to get a view from the road, but we couldn't. So unfortunately, we're going to move off from the lions. There was one male and 3 females lying down there in the long grass, flat as pancakes. No zebra in their belly. The zebra seemingly evaded them. Off they go. So what we're going to do, if you're all happy with it, we're going to move into the area that Kalamba was seen yesterday, where I left her, and see if she's been moving in the rain, and if maybe Tandi has decided to come and say hello to her to her daughter, and if Mama is going to be excited to see the little Kalamba, and if she's going to be able to tell her, Mama, I caught my own daycare yesterday, and will she believe her, because there's nothing left. Maybe that's why she left, or she moved away. She was going to leave some there. If you keep your chocolates close by, everybody, you're going to eat them. So you have to leave some over there and walk away, so that when you come back, there's something left to show people. Have you all done that before? Yes? Anyway, we're going to come back around onto the next road, which is called Hyena Road, where she's been spending lots of time. Okay, well, it seems like Trish has made it all the way down to the biggest watering hole we have access to around Chitwa Dam. Let's go and see what interesting sights she has for you.
Hello, hello. We have made it to the watering hole. We are at wonderful Chitwa. And I love coming here because we can go through every part of the watering hole and see exactly what's around. Now we have our typical residence here. We have the Egyptian geese off to the left. Oh, with 5 chicks. Well done for keeping so many alive. Very cute. Oh, little balls of fluff. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5. So these guys must be quite small. I was reading about them earlier, and about they do look like little pom-poms on legs, walking about. And their legs kind of look grey, and apparently at about 8 weeks their legs are grey, and then that's when they start flapping their wings. So I'm sure that's their approximate age. And they're in a kind of a bit of a green patch, which is an algal bloom in the area. And you get a lot of them at this time. I saw a nice, really, like, it's almost fluorescent green blue. Shannon says it's quite empty. Well, I suppose it is quite empty, but they're enjoying the algae. Maybe it's a good thing for them that it's quite empty, so not to worry about too many things trying to eat them. see. Oh, I see a croc that's almost submerged. Yeah. I don't know if that's a derby, but I think straight up from there. Further up. Okay, while we try and spot this croc, let's go to Isaac, who's got a different kind of fluff ball for you. There we go.
Welcome back to the Masai Mara, where now we have this beautiful setting here, and underneath this tree we struck gold. Here are the sausage tree pride. I have counted 4 females and 2 of Olympus cup. You can tell they are clinging onto their mommy's teat as much as possible. I think they're trying to get as much milk as possible because they haven't eaten. You know, that's how things are at the moment. Yes, we just found them all scattered here. Looks like the females had a little bit of something to eat because they don't look as lean as they were this morning or yesterday. About 2 days ago, I predicted that, you know, they were going to make a kill, but I think, you know, they didn't read the books. They didn't understand exactly what I said, and I apologize for that. So they haven't made any kills, but, you know, that one there, definitely, you know, she has eaten something, that one. You see that tummy? It's not the same as the other one. You know, if you look at the other one, the next one there, Jandri, if you could, yeah, zoom in, you see that one, you can tell the difference. You know, the belly there is not as full. So that one there has definitely eaten something. Remember to join me on this live broadcast on #SafariLive, or you can watch me on, you know, YouTube. This is happening right here, right now, and here in the Masai Mara. This is the sausage tree pride. In case you've never joined us, it's for your first time, we have a very good background about this beautiful pride. It's made up of 2 dominant males called the Oldonyo Payak males, made up of 5 females, 1 oldest female called Kinky Tail and her 4 daughters, and in between the 4 daughters and Kinky Tail they have about 10 cubs. 3 of the new of the cubs are very new, less than a month old, and 4 of them are just about 2 months, and 3 of them are about 6 months, and 1 is about 4 months. So in total we have around 15 females and cubs plus 2 huge males that dominate a very huge expanse of this part of the Sausage Republic. We haven't seen them for about 2 days, but we know they are somewhere. They normally pop in and out every few days. But these girls, you know, stay here most of the time, and they are very good in surviving in this great expanse. It might seem to be very empty, but there is a lot of game for them. Jacob Clark and Park, I hope I got your name right. How many times do lions hunt? I don't know if I got you right. Yeah, it depends on if they have a good meal. They can stay up to 7 to 10 days without eating. That is the most time they can stay without eating. But I will still add something to that and tell you that lions have been termed as opportunists, and even if they're eating something or busy eating something, if something prevails itself, they will make use of that opportunity and bring down whatever is available. So they can stay for 7 days without, in between meals, but it doesn't mean that if a meal prevails itself that, they'll let go, they will utilize it. Looking at those teats, you can tell that 100% they are being utilized. I don't know which girl is this. I would think that it is Mitty. I would think it's Mitty. She is the latest mother. She's got 4 very beautiful, amazing cubs, and I haven't seen them right here. and I can tell she's got lots and lots of milk. Hope she'll get to lead us to where they are. Rosaline, thank you for your beautiful question. What do lions face? First of all and foremost, in Africa, they are faced with habitat loss. That is what is facing them. People encroaching into their habitats. And secondly, is competition. Areas are becoming too small, and so when that happens, then competition becomes too high because other prides will be around there. So that one, those are the problems that they face. Also diseases brought by domestic animals like dogs. They're getting diseases like feline immune virus, which is a sort of AIDS for the lions, and mange. It's another disease caused by a mite that attacks the skin. Those are the things that lions face over here. There used to be lots of snares before, but there's not as many right now. I'd say the biggest threat right now is competition from one another, and habitat loss is mainly what is facing threatening them over here. Mind you, these guys are resting, and this is what they do best after eating or just before going for something. But when they are ready to go out, they can be very, very active and very, very, meaning to bring down something. Okay, while I stay here, let me send you to my colleague down in Juma, Trish, to show you some hippo.
Well, we got distracted from the hippo just a little bit because we saw these geese flying in formation, which was really cool. Then they just kind of landed back down there. Let's listen. Come, guys, you were so loud when we were waiting, but now that I've said let's listen to you, you've gone quiet. Next time they get going, I'm going to just keep quiet and we can have a good listen at them. You hear all sorts of noises. You hear the grunting, you can hear the bubbling of them kind of blowing bubbles underwater. Hippos are quite unique in how they make their noises, or how they make their sounds, or rather the way in which their sound travels. Their sound is amphibious, so it can be heard underwater as well as in the air. And that's difficult because those are two different mediums with two different densities. So to have that same sound travel in both mediums is quite unique. Do you even know how unique you are? All of these animals are so special. I often just wonder if they know how special they are. Of course they don't. Oh, there's some jaws opening at the back there. Oh, hey. Emma says someone should give them a card. Why is it because of Valentine's Day that they should have gotten a card? We've got a swallow at the top there. It looks like a European swallow. It's got a white breast. Here, right here at Chitwa, was where I saw a mosque swallow for the first time, which was really cool. I quite like swallows. There's always great audio here at Chitwa. There goes the lapwings. You can even hear them in the background a little bit. Ryan would like to know if there are birds on the reserve that eat other birds. Very much so, Ryan. Most raptors will eat other birds, definitely. And birds' chicks are vulnerable quite a bit, especially here around the watering holes. For example, these goslings that we see here with the Egyptian geese, they were around here somewhere. They would fall prey to crocodile if it feels like it. Lots of animals are opportunists, so if the opportunity comes and chicks are unattended, they'll very much be gone. And the same goes for eggs. Eggs are a precious commodity. They're high in nutrients and protein, so lots of animals go for bird eggs. And of course, I mean, a leopard or a lion will take down, if there is the opportunity to take down a bird, especially something big enough that can feed them, if they find a goose or something like that, they will. It's all about the opportunity to have it and to take it down. Don't worry, I hope that you will be safe, goosies. Ryan again would like to know, what is the apex bird of prey? Let's think about it. Well, bird of prey, so we're thinking, I mean, I love the African fish eagle. I think that's a great one, but I still don't think it's the apex. I would maybe say a martial eagle because it's very, very big. It's probably the biggest. I haven't seen one here yet, but it is possible to get them. So I would think martial eagle. Really something to think about. If we're going with size, and be vultures, but they're not going to. They're scavengers, so they're looking for carcasses and things like that, and are not so much a predator in the same sense. Just trying to look in my book and see if there's anything else that could be. No, the other ones are fairly small. Obviously, I think size does correlate with being the apex predator because you have to be able to take down bigger birds and bigger kills, and to be able to do that, you need to be bigger yourself. So I'm going to go with martial eagle. Thank you, Ryan. Making us think there. Oh, we also get a Varro's eagle. I forgot about that one. Well, I'm going to spend some more time here at Chitwa Dam, just enjoying myself. In the meantime, let's go back to Isaac.
Yeah, welcome here. We're still here with these lazy lions. The cubs have fed to their fill, and now it is more sleeping. They are making me a little bit sleepy. I hope they're not to you, and I'm not gonna be hypnotized by them sleeping. I'm gonna stay here. What did you hear? She just put her head up. Yeah. She heard something. You see the box ears on this female? I can tell you that is meaty, 100%. She's got those box ears, very square ears. That is one way. Yeah, and also she's got a stripe running, over her nose, a scratch that she received. When she comes up, I'll be able to pinpoint that. So, something tells me that they ate something minor, not big enough, which sometimes it is essential because they need that energy to bring down a big animal. We know this pride of lions as experts in bringing down such, large animals like buffalo. But in this case, I think it was something small because they always show us where the buffalo is. And here I cannot see any buffalo, so I assume it was. Lady Starfire, your question was something, I don't know if they'll fit the area or maybe You might repeat the question, but if I got it right, if it's fitting the area, they have such a huge area. There's nothing to worry about. And oh, I got the question now. You asked me if they will split. I think it's too early for this pride to split. They have too many cubs and they need each other. When the cubs are about maybe 3 years to 3.5, and I assume maybe most of them will be females, and it comes to a times like this when there is nothing much in an area like this apart from buffalo, then they might split. But with the sausage tree pride, I would still think the bigger the pride it gets, the more they will need each other, and the better they will become at bringing down buffalo. So I don't see the sausage tree priding, splitting in the near future. They will stick together for quite a long time. But yes, some prides do split, and especially when they run out of prey to hunt, and especially in lean times like this, when there's very tall grass, then they will split to make use of whatever small is available. That is what happens. But over here, it is all well with the sausage tree pride. Remember to join me live on #SafariLive, or you can tell your friend to watch us on YouTube live stream. This is happening right here, right now in the Masai Mara. It's a fantastic evening, as you can see. We have the sun setting, we have the beautiful desert day tree in front of me, and the wind is blowing. It's such an amazing time. It is beautiful, it is fantastic. I cannot ask for anything more. Please keep those questions rolling in, make this much more interesting, because the sausages, yes, the sausages are having a lovely afternoon. It is a lovely afternoon, but it's very windy, you can tell with the grass. But I'm sure the sausages are loving it, because they have been in the hot sun the whole day. It was very, very hot. It was almost 32 degrees Celsius, which is around 89 Fahrenheit. Yes, but now it's cool. Let me send you to Steve, who is driving around Juma.
Thanks, Isaac. How awesome it was that David and yourself, or who was it, David this morning, managed to find the new kinky tail cubs. That is so cool. So cool. Was it yesterday? I'm getting lost in a time bubble. I'm not really sure. But they've been today. Yeah, BK is confirming it was today. So we have a little nap in the day sometimes, because we were up early this morning. So sometimes you feel like a whole other day has passed. Ooh, there's a pretty little track right in the mud that I've just swallowed with water. Damn it. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to swear. There was a beautiful little leopard track in the mud. It was perfect. It's hard to say whether it was from today or yesterday. A leopard track in mud, very hard to age, because it doesn't sort of change too much. Here we go. These are quite fresh. These are Tlalambas tracks. Right over here. She is around here somewhere. No, BK. Sorry, those ones there. Left. There we go, sorry. There we go. That's not the one I'm looking at. Let me jump off and show you here. Getting our wires crossed here. Here we go. Those are two beautiful little leopard tracks. So we're going to just have a little look around. The other morning on foot with Herbie, this is where we found her. Just going to drive a little bit up to this next pan and see if maybe she's there. I don't really know how to tell the difference between Tundi and her tracks at the moment. They are both so similar in size. I'm sure there's only a few millimeters in it. But she came from that way. She's come back again. She might just be here in the drainage. We need to keep our eyes very well peeled, BK. There's some birds shouting up ahead here. Are they shouting at her? I wonder. Okay, so she's come from this way. She was All sorts of antelope have been running from her. She's a lethal weapon nowadays. After a deka, I think she's gone from strength to strength. Okay, cool. The tracks are coming this way along the road. Oh, and then there is a much fresher one. So she's been up and down on this area. A lot of you might be asking me, how do I know it's fresher? Okay, so the disturbance on that track over there, sorry about my shoulder, the disturbance on that track over there is quite fresh. You can see the sediment has been turned up and it hasn't been rained on, which means that that's happened after the rain. Whereas, can you see those tracks just there, BK, in the road? Those ones there, those ones have happened and it's rained on top of them. Sorry about the pole. There you can see they've been rained on. Skills make a good tracker. Well, being observant is one. Patience is another one. And trusting your gut is another one. Okay, let's move on from them, BK. Trusting your gut, Adam, is a very important element of tracking. Because sometimes, you know, you've got to feel what the animal's doing. And if you have a feeling, then you must go with that feeling. The art of tracking is where they reckon the scientific mind developed, because we had to think outside of the box. We had to think like the animal. We had to think like a leopard. We had to think like whatever animal we were trying to find. And so you formulated. You didn't think how you would move. You thought, how would the animal move? And animals need to move for water, shelter, and food. And if you can figure those out and you know your landscape, obviously knowing the area is a very important element, but that's not a skill. That's just practice and experience in an area. So those tracks have gone down into the drainage there. Indeed, I mean, you have to be the leopard. You have to think like it, become the leopard, invoke the leopard and walk like the leopard. And where would it go and why? You know, if you're looking at a pathway or you're looking at a thicket, the leopard's obviously going to walk on the pathway versus the thicket. Or if you're looking at a ridge and you're looking at a valley, the leopard's most likely going to walk through the valley. Unless it's a passable ridge, the leopard's going to choose the path of least resistance. So we're just going to go back here now, have another little look around over there. Those tracks seem relatively fresh. Let's go around and have a look. Trish was trying to get me on the radio a little while ago. I'm not sure why she wasn't hearing me when I called back, but let's go over to her. I think she's still enjoying the wonders of Chitwa.
Well, there is a lot happening with me. I'm still at Chitwa. I've seen some hippo at the back there being a little active, and there was one guy actually kind of on the side. He looked mostly out of the water and he looked really cute and rotund. Oh, I think it was a couple days ago you guys asked me how big they can get, and I think I told you 1.5 ton, but I was actually referring to the female. The males can be double that, up to 3 tons. It's 3,000 kgs, which is massive, massive, massive. If you ran into that, it'd be running into a brick wall, solid. You probably wouldn't survive running that close anyway. You wouldn't get the opportunity. Belinda would like to know, what are the main health problems that hippo face? Well, there are a few kind of, I don't know if health problem is what I'm looking for. I do know that they harbor bilharzia, which is a type of virus, but it doesn't seem to affect them. But the most fatalities or injuries that they can probably sustain come from actually fighting each other within their group. They have super high levels of testosterone, so they can get really, really, really aggressive. And it's pretty apparent in the way that they fight. It's brutal. You'll see the inside of the gums. You've seen them when they kind of meet with their mouths open, and that jaw can open 150 degrees, which is a long way. And then they clash with those teeth, and then they bleed from those parts there. That can happen as well in the skin, but infection is not so rampant because the kind of what we call hippo sweat, or some people say it's blood sweat, when it absolutely is not. It's two types of acids, hipposudonic and norhipposudoric acid, that is in their sweat, which makes it that color when the sun hits it. And it actually acts as an antiseptic as well as a sunscreen. So infection from kind of those external wounds is not very common, or not very rampant, because of that, the help that they get from that sunscreen and the acids in it. But in terms of actual viruses or sicknesses, I don't think very much. I just know that they harbor bilharzia. Oh, big guy. There's a lot of them together right there. Always would love to see what it looks like underwater, you know. Oh, there we go. Remember, we were just talking about that. So you get a lot of this. You get a lot of irritation amongst the groups, especially if there's males in the group that are obviously subordinate to the beach master, you know, the alpha male. And he's often disciplining them, and he does not take any sort of, what shall we say, nonsense from anybody else, especially not another male, and he will assert his dominance constantly. Wow, apparently it's National Hippo Day in the States. Well, happy Hippo Day, everybody. Here's your eyeful of hippos. Take it all in. Take it all in. It needs to last you the next 365 days till Hippo Day again next year. And you have quite a few there too. Really sweet. Oh, I love them. A lot of you are wondering if these are Snorkel Sarah's and Scuba Steve's siblings or relatives. It's possible. He would have had to at some point leave a watering hole where he was part of a family and a group, or a bloat, which is what a group of hippos are called, which I think is so appropriate. But I wouldn't be able to tell, to be quite honest. But it is quite possible. And it is very likely that the hippos here can hear when Scuba Steve calls up in the northeastern corner of the reserve as well. And he makes his little then they can hear each other. But remember, they are territorial. So once he breaks away from them, if he ever did originate from here, then other hippos will not be too welcome unless they are females that he can collect into his harem. Harshal says, how much time can a hippo live outside of water? Well, the dependency on water is very much based on the skin. So if it's an overcast day, like this one, or it's a rainy day and there's lots of moisture in the air, they can spend a lot more time out of water. And out of water, typically, they might spend about 10 hours, 10 or 8 hours, maybe even a little bit more than that, because they're grazing out in the night. And then if it's a really hot, dry day and water is scarce, or it takes them a long time to get back to the water, the skin can begin to crack and bleed. So in those type of circumstances, I can imagine that the time diminishes quite a lot. there really is a lot happening. There's a fish eagle flying. I hope he calls. Rocky asked if there are too many hippo there. Or here at Chitwa, rather. Too many is a strong word. Oh, that was the fish eagle. That was stunning. How's the sound? Amazing. Rocky, you asked if there are too many. Well, while we watch this beautiful being, because I think fish eagles are just stunning. They are the face of Africa almost. We asked about whether there are too many hippos here, Rocky. I don't think there are. As long as they're there's a few indicators I would look for. Firstly, they all seem to be getting on fine. There's not too much aggression. They're not falling on top of each other. They're not being killed by being trampled, and that kind of thing. So I think the density is okay. Also, the density can be affected by, or rather, the water gets affected by the density. So if there's too many hippos, even though hippo dung and the existence in the water adds a lot to the microorganisms in the water, and then therefore the health of the dam and of other invertebrates in the dam, if there are too many hippos, you get an anoxic environment, which is an environment where there's reduced amount of oxygen because the bacteria is kind of consuming all that oxygen, the bacteria that comes from their poo. And then you will see that most animals will not drink the water. You'll get barbels and other sort of invertebrates floating on the top. And there's a lot of smaller animal death that occurs in the dam or in the water if there's too much dung in there. So I don't think that's happened here. And so I wouldn't say that the hippo density is too great at this time. And I think they have a fairly good amount of space. But that was a good question, Rocky. I like your thinking. Gremlin says, what lovely sounds. There really are nice sounds. I really wanted that fish eagle to call. He called for us. That Cape turtle dove is constantly calling in the background. I told you once that sometimes when I dream, I can hear it in my dreams. It's a true story. Anyway, I actually might move off from here just a bit. In the meantime, let's go to Steve, who's still doing some tracking.
Well, welcome back, everybody. The tracks are still very fresh, but they've gone into the drainage. I poked my nose in there, but no luck at the moment. Just going to drive around, see maybe if she's followed the drainage and come out on that side. We never know. We might be lucky. But it's very thick in there, very green. I found the tracks of the male lion and female from last night that James was following. Trish is calling me. Yay! Let's see if she can hear me this time. Standing by, Trish. She's got a problem with her radio. I'm sure of it. I am sure of it because she's been calling me. I've been calling back. Not sure what's going on. Maybe her volume is down, Emma. Maybe you can let her know that. Her volume might be too low, that she doesn't hear me. Because she's definitely sending her comms, but seemingly not receiving. I think she wants to discuss the next move about who is going to go to the Druma Den. Sure she can go. No problem at all. Okay, so we are going to continue along this road. It is so nice and cool this afternoon after the rain. It's going to be even more green. All the little mud wallows and pans are full again, which is lovely. We came down a road just up on the north here called Hyena Road, and the elephants had been having a party, it seemed, by all the tracks. All of the little mud wallows there, they'd been bathing and swimming and throwing mud all over the place. Elephants love it in the rain. I always like to find ellies when it's raining. because they seem to absolutely love it. Okay, let's keep going along. This road is called Nyala Road South, which actually joins Nyala Road North, which goes straight up to Buffelshoek. My earpiece is now giving me trouble, Emma. For some reason, you're coming through very faintly there, and I have no idea why. The volume is on full. Gremlins in my ear, I suppose. So this is an area that Thandi spent a lot of time in last year, and it seems Kalamba is quite happy to sort of hang around in her area. And we're wondering, when is Thandi going to come back? Because, well, we had tracks of her 2 days ago returning to the scene, and I'm sure she can't stay away too long from the princess. But while we continue our search, let's go back up to the Masai Mara with Isaac, who I believe has had a camera change.
Welcome back everybody. I have decided to leave the sausages because today they have decided to be the sausages. They are sleeping, and I have decided to cross over this side, and hopefully I can find Kinky because she's not there. She was seen this morning with all cubs, her cubs who are very new, and Michi's cubs. So hopefully I can find them. I'm gonna look, along this laga. A laga is an area that has been eroded by water over a period of time. It has become a gully. We call it a laga. So I'm gonna check this laga. This is where she gave birth, all the way to the top. If I don't find her, I'll leave this area and maybe I'll look for her next time. But I'm still in Sausage Republic. Oh wow, is that your name? I hope I got it right. I think that question was a bit, I didn't understand it. Maybe we could repeat it again, please, so I can maybe answer it. Let me start over here, reverse a little bit. Yes, now I got the question perfectly. If they purr like domestic cats, I've never heard of the big cats, purring. When they sleep, they're very quiet, unlike our cats, but they do roar and growl. That's the two that I know they do. I've never, experienced them, purring. This is the area where Kinky gave birth, and I'm hoping to spot her. It's cool, so she could be out. I'm crossing my fingers, see if I can find her for you guys. Sometimes it's not easy. You just drive and drive and drive and drive until you give up, and then you try another day. And this is why we do this, because we love it. You cannot do this if you don't love it. So sometimes it can be very frustrating. Oh, what is that? Is that a plant? Yeah, it is a plant, sorry. It looks like a lion's head. Sometimes there is this Logosauruses and a Rhocosauruses that appear in the long grass. They really look like something, and sometimes you get very excited. Your heart goes really fast. Then you take your binoculars and look, and there is zero, there is nothing. And it happens even to the most experienced guide. It does happen to them. Yeah, we had seen a male lion here earlier, and I think he was one of the Oldonyo Paek males, but he's gone. He's no longer here. Yeah, he's not here at all, I can tell. So we're gonna continue on. Yes, he was, sorry, Jandre, he was over here. Maybe let's take some binoculars and have a look around. Maybe we might see him walking in the long grass. His mane is the only solution for us to find him if he's walking. Otherwise, if he's lying down, the results would be zero to find him, in this long grass like this. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere. So I don't think we have a chance of seeing him if he doesn't stand up. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. See if there is something. Francis, you asked if they would feed on each other. That would be cannibalism, and that is unheard of in lions. I have seen it in leopards, but lions, no. The only time I have seen a lion feeding on another, it's when a male killed a young one, and to show a sign of dominance, it ate the little one to show that, it was more dominant. To who it was showing, there was nobody, but to itself, it felt like it had accomplished what it's supposed to do, to dominate and kill the young one. That is the only time I've seen a lion feeding on another. Otherwise, they won't go directly for the other to eat them for meat. It is very beautiful. I'm drowning in a sea of grass. Everywhere in front of me, everywhere is just grass, left, right. You asked me about, the big cats and the small cats, the difference. Okay, if it's pairing for the small cats, yes, they do pair, and we do have the small cats. The smallest one would be the African wildcat. We do have the the sable cat. We do have the caracal. Those are the small cats that we get here. Striped polecat, that's a zorilla. It's very nocturnal. It's rarely seen. But those small ones, I think, like the African wildcat, which resembles the domestic cat. Almost, if you didn't know the difference, you actually mistake it to be a domestic cat. That one, I think, might pair because it's that size. It doesn't have actually the vocal cords to actually produce sound like a roaring or growling like a leopard. So I think those small ones would pair. Although I've never experienced, because they're very shy and not as many, and we don't see them as much as we would like to see them because the terrain is very difficult here and there's many places to hide, as you can see, all over. They can be anywhere, so it's very hard to see the small ones. Otherwise, they are here, and I don't know if they pair, but I would assume they do. This is the time of evening where, the night, the day hands over into night, and the creatures of the night come out. It is very dangerous to be out here as a Thompson gazelle. I wonder how they survive. No wonder they live only for about 9 years, because I think it is very stressful for them to live for. Yes, it's very stressful, to live for more years like we do. Okay, as I drive, let me take you to Steve, who's also driving like me.
Thanks, Isaac. I suppose it is very stressful living in the wild without the security of a home or anything like that. But we, once upon a time, all used to live on the landscape without any sort of bomas or security around us. And, well, look how strong we are today. I'm joking. But anyway, we have found an African green pigeon that's sitting there. The light is not doing his feathers justice. It is one of the most colourful, coolest birds that you find out here. In fact, the African green pigeon. Those of you who haven't seen one before, I will show it to you on my phone in a moment. And they're very, very beautiful birds. They've got the most colourful sort of plumage and feet. We are still searching for the princess. But we're coming around the other side to see if maybe she's popped out onto the other road called Battalier. But this green pigeon is busy preening itself away from the nest, of course. They are 100% frugivores, which means that they feed on fruit. I wonder if you can hear the Coqui Franklin calling there. Okay, so that is a beautiful bird, but to see him in the right colour, I have put my phone up here for you, BK. There we go. There is the African green pigeon. Let me just get the right angle of the light. And look at his beautiful orange socks, or yellow socks, my mistake. Aren't they gorgeous? It's green in colour. I'll show you another picture. There we go, on the fig trees. Another beautiful picture. There we go. Look how gorgeous they are. They're also commonly known as the Tarzan bird, and I'll show you why. Are you ready to listen? That's one of my favorite calls. Absolutely sensational. Get a few more pictures. There we go. So very important for distribution of figs and many other plants. There's busy feeding on it looks like a hairy guarri. And so we don't actually get that many of them in this area. They do really enjoy figs, rock figs as well as sycamore figs. And the sycamore figs are generally found in more riparian, sort of permanent riverine vegetation areas. We don't really have, I don't think we've even got a fig on the property. Well, we do. We've got one strangler fig, but the rock fig and the strangler fig and the figs are all very important for seed distribution via birds such as that. Okay, well, let's continue on down this road. This is called Drakensberg, right on the east of the property. David, that is the coolest bird sound, I think. There's my whistle that I finally got in. I know Trish was trying to whistle earlier, and I was going to whistle, and then we had some weird auto-focusing on the camera stories going on, which BK seems to have gotten a handle on. Okay, well, the good news is, folks, that Rexon is coming from the north. He was tracking a leopard in the north that has disappeared from him, so he's coming to give me a hand with this these tracks of Tlalamba. So while he goes around that way looking, I'm going to come this way to make sure she hasn't crossed, because that's one of the benefits of using the radio, is you can maximize the area that you can sort of work on. Debbie, you want to know what is the fruit here in winter? Well, fig trees fruit all year round. They don't have any sort of season. They're constantly producing figs. As soon as they've produced a batch, they'll go through a sort of a dormant period, but only for a short period of time, and then the whole process starts all over again. So fig trees are one of the top fruiting trees in the Amazon, and that provides the food for an enormous number of bird species down there. I haven't been, but I'd like to go. But fig trees are probably globally the most important food source for many, many organisms. Very interesting indeed. Not like the marulas, which are so important here. They have a very brief window and then they're gone. But the African green pigeon seems to either ingest the smaller fruits or just nibble on them a bit, which you find with the jackalberry fruits. The seeds are a little bit too big for the pigeon to swallow. But you'll often find the green pigeons in jackalberries. That's the main reason you find them on this property this time of year. And obviously the fruits of the guarris, the magic guarri and the hairy guarri, which then get distributed far and wide after ingestion from the birds. I wonder if any of you can remember what distribution via birds is called. Hashtag Safari Live, let me know your answers. I know many of you do know the answer. If you don't know it, it's fine. It's good. We can learn some more. But the plant has designed a structure for bird distribution, which is very interesting. You can actually sort of age plants in their evolutionary history by how they've evolved their distribution. For example, wind and water would have been the earliest distributions or distributors, as well as fire. And then along would have come insects. So there's a lot of plants that have evolved with insects. A lot of grasses have evolved with insect distribution, namely in the form of ants, called Myrmecochorae. The fynbos biome is one of the most diverse biomes in the world, and they have got huge number of plants that are dependent on specific plants. There's like this ant will distribute that seed, this one will distribute that one. Albeit fluffification, no, it's not. Sounds good, but it's not the right term. It's not the right term. Flockification. Okay, that sounds a little bit more sort of genuine, but it's not the right term, I'm afraid, albeit. It is a very specific ecological term. I know many of you out there will know. I have droned on about it many, many times. Okay, well, while we wait for your answers to come through, we're going to keep going down this road, Bateleur, which kind of runs parallel with the drainage and with Nyala Road South, which is on that side. And if Kalamba crossed, maybe she's come across here, but I doubt it. Lannon, you are 100% correct in your description there. There might be an extra letter in your word, but it sounds almost 100%. Let's see if anybody else can get the answer there. That is where I got stuck with Jigger once. I bent the wheel axle following Tingana. That was quite fun. And just having a little listen, characteristic sounds of alarm calls. See if any birds are shouting at Kalamba. Can hear some starlings just calling, nothing too distressful. Okay. The very dense block. We've really got to have our wits about us if we want to spot the leopard. So there are many of you out there watching today who are new, so you probably have never been in touch with my ecological discussion about distribution. And it's quite interesting and quite easy to remember, in fact. And for those of you who have heard me do this again and again, I do apologize, but it's always nice to refresh. Now, the prefix, am I right saying the prefix? No, the prefix comes in front. Okay, so the suffix, my English is lacking. But the word that comes at the end of the word, the segment at the end, starts with the letters C-H-O-R-Y. So Corey. Suffix. Thank you, Emma. It's always nice having someone correct me in my ear or agree with me straight away. Ends in the suffix Corey, and that is distribution. So if you've got water, then you just add the prefix hydro. Hydrocorey, very easy. If you've got wind, then you would obviously put in the suffix aerocorey, which is quite easy. If it's one of those plants that pops on its own and shoots its seeds all on its own, then we'll call that autocorey, which is quite easy to remember. If it's distributed by animals, we will put the prefix zoocorey in front. And if it's distributed by humans, then it's called anthrocorey, because anthropomorphisms or anything you put with an anthro has generally got something to do with us. Anthropogenic is the sort of the global extinction that's happening at the moment, called anthropogenic extinction. We are involved with that. And then what would it be for birds? Now, Lanik already got the answer pretty much 100% right there. Those of you who are probably watching the stream might be able to cheat by checking. But think about it. What would you add for a bird? Not a feather. Something quite similar, you know, quite descriptive of a bird. See if you new viewers out there can quickly drop your answers in and see if you can get it right. If you get it wrong, that's okay. We're always learning. There's no wrong answers. Just getting better towards the understanding. And if any of you are lost in what I'm talking about right now, please just message me, and hopefully we can explain it a bit more. But seeds want to be distributed. Trees and plants want to have fruits, and they want the fruits, and well, they want babies, of course. That's the objective of life, isn't it? To breed. And they want their fruits and seeds to move away. If you're a plant and all of your seeds land on the ground underneath you, plants can't really move unless they're in water, like algae and things like that. They can actually move around. Plants can't move. So all their siblings or their kids will grow at their feet, stealing their water, their nutrients, and eventually even their sunlight. So the competition is rife. So what they want is they want their seeds to go away, far away, and going through the gut of an animal means that they'll distribute much further away. Emma, who just found somebody? Who found her? Holly. Holly is out assisting us with some tracking, and just where I left those tracks, Holly has managed to find somebody. So new viewers out there, see if you can throw in your answers, and it will be quite easy and you will never ever forget it. But Holly has managed to successfully relocate on a leopard very close to where we were, and she just popped out in the road, which is what they do. So we're going to race over there to Holly before he loses whoever it might be. It might be Tundi, it might be Tlalamba, but it's marvelous that he's able to communicate. He doesn't have the game drive radio if it's not working for some reason, but Vulture's Nest. Okay, so she moved through the block. Now that is Nyala Road where we've been working, and he's on here somewhere. So we're going to quickly zoom up the road there. I'm going to let Rexon know that there's potentially a leopard, but first we're going to find it, and then you can all have your own little view. Who is it going to be? Is it Tlalamba? The area seems very good for Tlalamba, and the tracks over there might have actually been Tundi's tracks. I honestly won't be able to tell you the difference right now without seeing them next to each other. But while we wait for the big reveal, is it Tundi or Tlalamba? Let's go back over to Trishala.
I am so happy. He has worked so hard trying to get that leopard, so I'm glad that he's finally gotten her. I'm not sure who it is. All I heard was female leopard, so I hope it's Tlalamba. She's been utterly entertaining this last couple days, so I really hope it's her. Well, since he has got wonderful Tlalamba, I think I am going to head over to the hyena den. It is the time of day, maybe that they'd be out a bit, close to 6. So we're going to go over there and have a look. I'm really looking forward to seeing those babies. We saw them last night. They were just beautiful. Just stunning. Oh, there goes Game Drive.
Come on, Vulture's Nest.
Oh, not talking to me. That's okay. It's one of the things about driving around you, this constant multitasking. I mean, apart from, you know, almost falling into holes because apparently I drive too fast. Well, I've always liked the Formula One, so maybe I've got a bit of it in me. Need for speed and Formula One is in my blood. No. Michael Schumacher would be very unimpressed with me if he saw the way I drive right now. Steve is finally on the leopard. Let's go to him and see what she's like. Is she crumb?
Welcome back, everybody. Now, we have found a leopard just over here. I just want to be very careful. There's a bit of a drainage depression over here that has got a lot of moist soil. So we don't want to cause any damage, of course. But we're just going to go through over here and see who it is. It looks like it is the princess herself. She's just through on the left here, just hugging. Now, I checked this area earlier, but the little game path here goes straight through. There she is. BK. Well done, Holly. Hello, Tlalamba. You're giving us a run around, hey? There she is. Isn't she pretty? Now, she looks like she's eating a little bit of grass, or is she sniffing? No, she looks like she's sniffing. She's looking for a duiker. She has now become an expert at duikers. We've spent time with Tundi, and Tundi likes to sniff through the vegetation, trying to find and ferret out these duiker, which she's very good at doing. But unfortunately, we do have a roof on, which is going to make this very, very interesting. Everyone's excited. We found Tlalamba. Yes, I know. I know, everybody. It was only a matter of time, and Holly just giving Rexon a bit of a hand there to come in. Holly just was driving along the road and bumped into her. How fantastic. Just going to move through here, see if we can get a nice view of her. Yeah, Rex, she's mobile in front of me there. If you access there, you'll get it. Janet, she is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. Unfortunately, we've got set a big roof on our car here. She's just through over there. Just going to punch our way through here. There's a little gap in the vegetation. And thankfully, she's just above that sort of watermark. Those of you who remember me on a walk the other day, there was that very high patch of grass that I said there's probably some form of seapline. Well, when we drove through it just now, sorry, BK, it most certainly was a bit of a seapline. And here she is, over my shoulder. Now she's walking directly back towards the termite mound where she was left last night. I left her just up ahead here. And I think she's hungry. A growing leopard's always hungry. I think Rexon might have got his wheel into a little bit of a hole there. He's got a very full vehicle. Wow, that is as full as it gets. Oh, here she is, BK. Here she is. Yes, the poser. Tlalamba, the little poser. Hello, beautiful. Fast becoming my next favorite leopard. Hello, gorgeous. So there we go, folks. She's not moving very far. I mean, she's keeping within sort of a 500 meter, maybe 400 meter sort of radius of where she's been the last 2-3 weeks. So we know if we work this area, we'll be able to find her. But unfortunately, the vegetation sometimes is very thick. So that's where the benefit comes when you're just traveling along the road. Sometimes you'll get the animal just popping out. Because as you can imagine, they're moving through these thickets, almost impossible to see. I do apologize about the pole there. Hello, Cat Noir. Her mum did raise her very well. She's definitely, oh, look at her smelling. All sorts. I'm going to lie in this hole that an elephant has dug for me. I'm going to lie here, right behind Rexon's vehicle, so his guests can't take a photo. She knows it. She knows she's a superstar. She is so sassy. She's like, okay, you want a photo? You're going to have to turn around, Rexon. And you're going to have to come and look at me from the other angle, because now I'm in the open for you. We're going to stay just here, though. We're not going to move. Leave her there. I mean, do you see how she blends in to the ground? Mike, she's not considered independent, although she'll probably survive if Thandi doesn't come back. So she could become independent now, but generally leopard females are only independent at about 2. But she's well adapted to catching already. But she's independence is generally when she moves off from her mum, is completely unreliant on her mum for food. And that's normally much closer to about 2 years. So you might notice that the spotlight has come out. He's not using it on the animal's face. It is one of the things people use in the safari industry just to maximize a photograph. But there's no kill, there's no carcass. So there's no threat to this young leopard at the moment. I know we are able to view animals with IR, and we do so all the time. But the industry standard, I'm afraid, is the spotlight. I'm sure at one stage everybody on Game Drive will be with some form of infrared camera. All the viewers, all the guests will have their own lens or their own something to look at. Oh, there we go. She's moved. She's hiding. Hello, gorgeous. She's completely relaxed, everybody. Can you see that? She's got no issue at all with the vehicles. It's an habituation process. For those of you, the new viewers that are watching us for the first time or so, this animal is not tame. She is not a pet. She has just been born to a mother that is completely relaxed to vehicles. So we're able to get this close with a vehicle without any difficulty. On foot, I can tell you, it is a different story. But anyway, we're going to stay with this princess for now. In the meantime, let's go back up to Isaac, who has found another small cat.
Well, about infrared, it's such a great technology and innovation, because over here it is pitch dark and we are able to show you this buffalo going with their usual business. The reason we stopped to have a look at this buffalo is there was something else that we spotted in the long grass, but we have lost it. I think I might have to use my spotlight a little bit. There it is. It's a long ways up there. You see it? Over there. Somewhere there in the long grass. There. I might have to drive a little bit. Can I drive a little bit? Please just allow me. I'll drive forward a little bit. The reason we stopped is we saw a very beautiful small cat. I won't say what it is. I'll put you in suspense because I'm allowed, and until I can spot it, and if we're not, I'll still continue to tell you what it is, but it is somewhere here. It is one of the small, beautiful cats that I was talking about earlier. I don't know if we'll be able to spot it again. It is somewhere here in the long grass. There it is. There. Got it? You have it over there? There. Yeah. Yeah. There. There we go. Look at that. That is a serval cat. Now you can breathe. It's in the long grass there. You see it walking? Serval cat. Yay! A very rare cat. I go sometimes up to 1 year without seeing this fine cat. So it is not bad to see one, after a long day. Yes, beautiful. Look at that. It's walking in the long grass, looking for small creepy crawlies, birds, bird eggs, chicks, little reptiles, frogs. You name it, they're all in the menu. Grasshoppers, mice, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah. Remember, this is live, and you can join in to ask as many questions as possible about, things like what we've just seen. This is a cat that really, very few people see it. So if you have any questions about it, please, you're more than welcome. You can ask me on #SafariLive, because this is happening right here, right now on SafariLive. We have lost it again, so I'm gonna again move forward, and hopefully we can show it to you once more. But it is somewhere here. It is pitch dark, and we're using IR, infrared, lights to illuminate without disturbing the animals, and that's how we can spot a cat like that. It is somewhere here, so I'm gonna stop again, find it with my spotlight, and then leave. I think it's right here. I can see it. Yeah, can you see it? Oh, here. Yeah, there. There. There it is. Beautiful. Look at that. Whoa. Look at that. It might come to cross the road. That would be amazing. Those huge ears are for listening. Yes, Diane, I'm hoping the same. It hops and hunts, because that's what it is doing. Those huge ears, actually, I think it heard me, and it's a very shy one, so he moved much faster. Those huge ears are for listening to the slightest movement in the grass, and they are able sometimes to pinpoint, how far the prey is, and they would leap very high. They have very, very strong hind quarters that would spring them or accelerate them, quite high. Sometimes they swat birds up to 4 feet in the air, and they can leap up to around 6 feet, from one to the other. Yes, as I continue following this beautiful cat, let me take you to Kalamba with Steve, another spotted one.
Welcome back. Well, the spotted cats are out in force all of a sudden, starting with her tail all the way up to her body. She seems to have digested that dacre quite nicely. Now it's time for a nap. I think she actually feels quite comfortable with us around. People have been around her for most of her life, well, all of her life, so gentle voices she sort of feels quite accustomed to, now she can put her head down and feel a little bit safer. But she's obviously very vigilant still. We had her for the remainder of the show last night, and then we followed her as it was an insect that got her attention. We sat with her as she sat on a termite mound, and the male lion and female lion that James is with, one of the evokers, and a female, and they were not far from here, calling, making all sorts of noise that definitely had her at attention. You can imagine being out here in the African wilderness. All she's got is her wits to keep her safe, and so she needs to be vigilant and alert, and it's not easy for a leopard, especially a young leopard, to let her guard down. Marvelously big ears, doesn't she? Ooh, here comes the pitter-patter of rain once again. What is it, Kalamba, with you the last 3 days, that the rain keeps coming whenever we find you? Oh no, that's not good. She's going to move away from the rain right now, as I think Rexon's vehicle is as well. Fantastic. Well, at least it's falling straight down, and it's not really coming in the vehicle for the moment, but a good time to start putting away all the electronics and all of the books, and to start covering up whatever it is that needs to be covered up. Very good. We're going to try and keep up with her as well as she moves off. I just need to put my cover on my screen. Okay, well, while we cover up and do a James Hendry, I'm not going to get as far as James does, but we're going to go back up into the Masai Mara with Isaac, who's got a crossing herd of buffalo.
I don't know what's happened. Somebody did something in the car and they ran away. You can guess. They ran away. These are Cape buffalo, and they're all congregated here because there is water. They think I cannot see them. They don't know if I can see them. Can you hear them mooing? They sound like cows. These are the Cape buffalo, and this is a breeding herd which consists of males, females, half-growns and calves, the closest relative to our domestic cow. Yeah, and they're all very happy here. We have big herds like this everywhere in the Mara Triangle. Gremlin, does it feel like somebody is watching you? Yes, of course it is. I feel that, you know, somebody is watching me all around. But I've always been lucky to get out alive from this kind of cases. So I'm hoping to do the same. I trust my instincts that, you know, they will carry me through. Yeah, but definitely everybody is very alert and watching me. But I'm not going to get out of the vehicle. Yes, over here they're quite safe, you can tell. They're all curled up together. This is giving each other, you know, surety and security, confidence that, you know, all is well. And they actually, I'm sure they can see me quite well because I have a light that is illuminating me, so you can see me. And that is a giveaway to them. But I'm not worried. I'm very fine. You can tell that some of them are chewing the cud. I'm not worried at all. Some very big bulls. We call them dagger boys or mad boys. Yeah, this is a very dangerous animal. But in a herd like this, it's much more easier to predict what is going to happen. Unlike when you come across lone ones, those ones are very dangerous and they would attack you without any warning. Yeah, the guy to the left over there, he's urine testing using an organ situated on the upper nasal passage to tell him if somebody is coming into season. But I think he's too young to be doing that. But I think he's ready. Yeah, they will continue doing that every now and then. Look at that. There are so many. They're all over across the road. To my left, they're scattered. This is a herd of about, I think, 300 that I see along this area. The area I am in is called Olpunyata. David, you say buffaloes are just cows with horns. Of course, they do look like cows with horns, but different mentality. And how dare you come and milk one if they have they're cows with horns? How dare you come and milk one, David? That's so funny. Yeah, these guys, you know, will give you a run for your money anytime you get out of the vehicle. You don't want to catch yourself in a situation where, you know, you're in between them and you have broken that safety distance. It's a very, very, very dangerous animal. They have been known to ambush people, and especially I have, you know, stories of when people went to hunt them in the 50s and 60s before hunting was stopped. You know, they would ambush you and actually wait for you to come, and then that's when you learn they are not cows. Those horns are very sharp, very strong, and the neck is very strong. You know, a human being is like tossing a carrot or a piece of bread up in the air. They would throw you like a paper. So you don't want to catch yourself in this situation. We always talk of this dangerous situation, but there are actually very few that happen, and I don't know why anybody would be out of the vehicle somewhere like here. So we sometimes scare you so much, but it's nice also that we also tell you these things so that when you come here, you know what to do and who, you know, where not to get out of the vehicle. Of course, you're not allowed to get out of the vehicle anywhere. There are designated places where you can do that. Yeah, this is a beautiful big herd of buffalo. It's always nice to see them like this. These are a few of the animals that actually will tell you that an area is doing well. It's got enough food and security. Tim, you asked me what is the biggest herd I've ever seen. I think I was in a slough game reserve for about 6 months, about 4 years ago, and over there you see herds of up to 2,000. Huge, huge, huge. You know, when they come to drink, you think, you know, you just seen 10, then 20, then 100, then 200, then 500, then 600, and all of a sudden the whole stretch of the lake is full of buffalo. I've seen, I'd say, about 2,000 in Sulu. That is, I think, the place I've seen the most buffaloes. We can't get that big size herds here. There we'd get, the biggest herds we get here in the Masai Mara, I think it's about 800. But in Sulu, I have seen around 2,000. Easy. There are very many over there, everywhere. And the reason it's easy to see them there is the source of water is a few lakes that's around Sulu's game reserve. There are about 5 lakes, and I was very close to a lake called Lake Zelakela, and that's where they used to come and drink water. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, but lucky enough it's coming from behind me, so I'm still gonna stop here for a little bit longer before I start wrapping up the vehicle, because I don't want to get wet. Remember, this is live. It's happening right now. It's pitch dark. It's almost 8 o'clock East African time. It's beautiful. Let me share with you the kind of experience that I'm experiencing here. I'm just going to go quiet so that you can hear the creatures of the night. Yes, I understand that you guys are saying it's raining everywhere. I think, of course, these animals called global warming has attacked us everywhere, and it seems to be impossible to predict weather. I call it the abnormal normal. You think it is normal, but it's very abnormal. You think it's going to get sunny, it gets wet. You think it's going to get wet, then it's sunny. The whole day today was too hot. I thought, there's no way that it's going to rain. But who am I? Look at it, it's starting to drizzle. So something has happened, and we're the cause. Hopefully it can change in the near future. I call it the abnormal normal. Now you cannot predict anything. Yeah, the buffaloes were here, and now they're gone. Oh, they're there. They're still listening to me yapping here. I wonder if they know exactly what I'm trying to say. These big bulls like that one you can see there can weigh up to around 900 kilos. That is about 1,800 pounds. And although they're that heavy, they are very swift and fast. Yes, I understand Steve is driving through the rain. Maybe let's have a look at how he's managing.
Well, welcome to now once again a wet and rainy Juma, where we have now got the IR light on. Kalamba moved off into the block. It's very wet underfoot there. The vegetation's quite thick, so we've decided just to leave her be. It is after dark as well. The spotlight needs to come out to be able to keep track of her, so Rexon's moved out of the sighting. We've moved out. Let the young lady go off in peace. But she's not moving at all far from where she's been the last little while. She's just tracking up and down, trying to find the scent of her mum. And I hope I am there when the two of them reunite, because it will be something so special. I think she's going to give Mum a hard time this time for being away for so long. Remember in the beginning when Tlalamba would disappear for a few hours, and all of you would be going, "No, come on, where is she?" And Tandi would be calling, and then out of nowhere Tlalamba would suddenly come back again, and there would be that reuniting, and everybody back home was very excited. So were we. Very heartfelt greetings between these cats. Very good. So if she was stationary and we had her on a termite mound or in a tree, more than happy to stay with her after dark. But as it gets dark, our hyenas are going to start prowling around. Best to just leave her to her own devices until she gets a little bit older. I hope you all understand. I know many of you do know. We've been doing that for years. If there was any kill in the area and she was on the floor, most certainly for her age, we'd probably leave, unless she was in a tree and everything was fine. But we don't want to add any extra pressure to these leopards' lives. It's hard enough as it is trying to survive with big lions roaming around. And those 2 lions were very close to her last night, and she is getting by her wits and being very... Oh, there's a water buck who's saying hello to us. Oh no, he's not saying hello, he's running away. He heard me say lion. Linda, you say it's been intense when we close the drive and she's calling. Not me. I don't ever think I've heard Kalamba calling at the end of a drive. So I suppose you're probably talking about somebody. Yes? She wasn't calling yesterday. Tundi, yeah, most likely Tundi. When Tundi's calling for Kalamba, that makes more sense. We follow Tundi, and towards the end of a drive, she's calling. I think a lot of the time was in the morning, wasn't it? And then Kalamba was nowhere to be seen. And then out of nowhere, she materialized. Look at this awesome spider, busy building its web right as we speak. You'll probably see it in the IR light. There it is. On the left, BK, left. There we go. Incredible. We get it in focus. There we go. I'm not 100% sure what spider that is, but it's possibly one of the... Well, it's definitely a nocturnal spider building its web at night. Just struggling to get the focus on there. It is a very difficult thing to get in this light. Very small. Oopsie. It looks to be one of the orb weaver spiders, which you saw how it dropped there. It's one of the strategies that orb weavers will do when they're threatened or something happens. They'll drop very quickly to the ground to escape whatever it is that is causing them any harm. And it's the orb weaver spiders that come from that tail, Incy Wincy spider, that everybody should know. And a kind of spider that just drops its web, hits the floor, and then runs off again. I think it's Incy Wincy spider. One of the story rhymes we say as kids. No, Emma, I'm sure everybody knows the Incy Wincy spider. It comes with hand gestures and everything, and I've forgotten them. I'm many, many years away from being a child, and I have no kids of my own, and I can't remember the last time I did that. But, oh, here we go. Down it goes to the ground. Incredible how high off the ground it is. And those spiders are able to do what we call ballooning, where they can sit. Many of these nocturnal spiders will go into a tree and reabsorb all the web. The web is protein-based. And then as night comes, they go out and form it again because they don't want to be damaged by giraffe and things walking or birds in the daytime. So they want to save that web. So in the morning, they'll eat it up, go hide in the bushes. And then at night, they'll come out again, respin their web in only a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And then catch numerous nocturnal insects because after the rain, well, there's going to be so many little flying critters moving around that it'll be able to feast on. Very nice. I enjoy my spiders. Just bought a couple new books, so spending a lot of effort trying to get spiders, get a handle on them. There's so many different ones. But I find them thoroughly interesting. A lot of people do not like spiders. My mom was bitten by a violin spider when I was quite young. So she did not like them at all. She was very, very against spiders for a long time until I started my conservation and then had to have long, strong conversations with her. And I'm sure she's probably watching. I still don't know what my mom thinks these days about spiders. But when you've had to have a pound or so of flesh removed from your skin because of a spider bite, you're generally not too happy with spiders after that. But they only bite if provoked or if sat on. So don't sit on them. Mum, if you're watching, don't sit on another spider, please. Unfortunately, the spider venom can often do quite a lot of damage to the skin. And if not dealt with early on, can lead to some serious sort of, what's the word? Necrosis, I think it's called. Sort of reduction of the flesh. And but bearing in mind, folks, if you ever do get bitten by a spider, no matter how itchy it is, never scratch it and never ever squeeze it. It's not a big fat pimple that you can pop the pus out of. You'll just lead yourself to some serious harm. Leave it alone. Keep it clean. Keep it very, very clean. Okay, well, anyway, while we continue on along this road, who knows what last minutes might pop out for us? Let's jump back over to Trish and see what her thoughts are on nocturnal spiders.
My feelings on spiders. I actually just said to Darby, oh, Steve's got a spider. All I want is a spider. I love spiders, guys. I love them. I've got some nice books on them and I've been reading a lot about them. And especially the types of, well, for one, how long they've existed for. They're one of the land animals that have existed for the longest. We're talking like 400 million years. In fact, the oldest fossil of the ancestor of a spider, it's called a, let me remember, Trigonotarbida, I'm pretty sure, is 400 million years old. So you should always think before you crush and smash and chase and maim the spiders, maybe you could be actually killing a lineage of 350 to 400 million years old. So I do think they're awesome. And I wish I had a spider. But it seems like everyone in camp gets spiders in their rooms and the spiders bother them. But I don't know, for some reason they don't come into my room. The one person that actually really wants them around. Spiders. So the rain is coming down, as you can see. Hitting my face quite a bit as well. Spotlight is out. Purple says, what eats spiders? Lots of things eat spiders. Birds eat spiders. Snakes will eat spiders. Geckos will eat spiders. Lizards will eat spiders. Lots of things like spiders. And there are very few spiders that are actually quite harmful to us. But most of them are not. So I think they get a bad rap a lot of the time when really, oh, I am being rained on, when really they are, I wouldn't say innocent, but they're definitely not as bad as they're made out to be. Spideys. Also, I think it's so cool that they can spin silk. That they have these glands, and you have the ground-dwelling ones and the web-dwelling ones. I like them a lot. See, I have to talk about spiders now because it's bucketing down and all the animals are even gone. We're out here on the quarantine clearing and whoo, that is a lot of rain. I feel me getting wetter and wetter. We are out here in quarantine clearing where usually there are impala everywhere, but I don't know where they've gone to at all. Well, nevertheless, we did have a nice drive, I thought so. We got to see some exciting things. At least we got Tlalamba. I think that was really, really cool. Getting the princess there. Well, you all are excited. I'm happy too. Also, we had the lions in the morning. It's been a good day. It's a good day to be a safari guide and I suppose a good day to be a viewer. Nothing on quarantine and my shirt is partially soaked. I suppose it's not a good day to be me in the rain at the moment, but I don't mind too much. I think we're just gonna park off here under the shade of this, or the shelter of this marula, just a little bit. Linda says, holy cow, look at that rain. Definitely. I think all the holy cows in the world will be thinking, my gosh, look at that rain. Oh, jeez. Oh, can't even move around properly. There's water coming out everywhere. Oh. But I can't say that I don't love it. There's a lot about the rain. Oh, there's a few eyes across there on quarantine, so they're still hanging about. Of course, the animals have nowhere to go in the rain, except to just hang out under the trees like we are now. So, it's been a great drive. We've had wonderful sightings, and thank you guys so much for your questions and your comments. We love having them. We will see you in the morning for our sunrise safari. Bye-bye.